Yeah, level 3 ADR is basically a unsponsored ADR, and every single company has one. They don't really trade. You want to do the main listing, right? So if I type evolution in here, the main listing is this, which is EVO. SFB, which stands for like Swedish Financial Bourse or something, right? And if I just click stocks, there's other evolutions, but I just leave evolution AB. This is a pink sheet ADR. It trades on the pink sheet. So what's important is you have to ask yourself, what exchange does this trade on? And in this case, you have 5 different exchanges that evolution trades on. But only one of them is the main market, which is EVO in Sweden. It's a Swedish company. Could there be liquidity in some of these other ones? Not likely, but it's possible. So this ADR was made up by somebody that is not Evolution AB. Otherwise, it would trade on NASDAQ or NYSE. If they wanted to make an ADR, they could, but they did not. So Nestle, Roche, those are 2 examples of some very big companies that only trade in their local markets. Let me give you an example. If I wanted to look up Roche ADR, it's RHHBY. Do you see that? RHHBY, and it's $39. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. It's going to be really interesting. We're going to do, what is the dollar value traded? Another one is Nintendo. Nintendo ADR, $13. But how much volume does it trade? I'd like to look at it on Yahoo Finance. There we go. So 1322, what's the volume? 26,000 shares, okay? Nintendo has nothing to do with this ADR. Now, it's not illegal or fraud, but somebody else set this up. So here's the price, 1322. How many shares traded? 26,389. Now, you might say that's enough for me, and that's fine. There's a lot of issues trading on the US pink sheets, by the way. A lot of people aren't allowed to do it professionally. The exchanges are very murky and not great. So the real Nintendo trades in Tokyo, of course. And let's multiply the volume by the price. This is the dollars traded amount, right? So this is the amount of actual dollars that traded for Nintendo today. And I could look at yesterday's volume or whatever, but it's $350,000. Got it? So now let's look at the real ticker, which is 7974 in Tokyo Stock Exchange, the real deal. And the price is 8,000 yen, 8010. And the volume last night was 2.3 million. So let's look at the yen exchange rate. So we're just going to keep this in dollars. It's 151. So multiply this times this divided by 151, and you can see that $124 million of Nintendo traded in Tokyo. But only $300,000 traded on that shitbird pink sheet. It's probably even worse for Evolution. Let's look at Evolution. Here's their weird pink sheet thing, EVVTY. I bet you there's almost no trading, 5,000 shares. So that's EVVTY, US pink sheets, 8966, volume 5889, amount traded, $500,000. Again, you might say, look, I don't take that big positions. That's fine. Only buying and selling $1,000, who cares? Not all of us are like that, though. And we might want to see Evolution AB in the main market. Here's the Swedish market. And so this is 946. This is Evo. And this is Stockholm stock market. Got that right. And look at how much traded, 406,000. 106,846, and we know the Swedish krone is what, SKE to USD? SEK. That's 1054. So this times this divided by 1054, and again we can see 36 million traded versus just 500,000 for the pink sheet ADR. Yeah, you get exposed to FX if you buy a Swedish stock because you have to pay in Swedish krona. So hopefully you'll understand that all of the liquidity is in these local things. Now, why would somebody set up these sort of fake securities? Well, on the pink sheets, the market makers actually cross all the stock. So it's not as electronic as post your bid, post your ask, and shares change and clear immediately. There's actual old school market makers in the pink sheets, and they actually make a bunch of profit on the spread. So it's a bit of a kind of a fucked up exchange, and so they just make that just to make a little extra money, and it's not a really viable place to trade for a professional. So I would get used to trading with the big boys and girls on the real exchanges. They will rip you off for 5% if they can. Real ADRs are liquid, like TM for Toyota, but some companies just never do an ADR. I don't have a real opinion on GenMab. I haven't looked at it too closely in a while. Darzalex is going to go generic some point. Amgen will put out their own antibody, CD38. So they're going to have to figure out a way to extend the CD38 franchise. Exactly, Bennett. That's not really tradable. All right, so Nike, 122 billion cap. Let's look at the income statement. 50 billion in revenue. It's been growing. I don't know what people are complaining about. Somebody said turnaround. What turnaround? 9%, 10% revenue growth, 5% revenue growth. It's a big mature company, so any revenue growth is